Yes, a new Pew Research poll shows less than half of young adults are financially independent from their parents, and that plays right into why more people in that age group are boomeranging back home.
And what an appropriate song to kick off this segment
We are
right
family.
here. Yes, so we brought in the author of Wonder Hell, Why Success Doesn't Feel Like It Should, and what to do about it, to teach us about renegotiating parent-child relationships at different phases of life. Please welcome career expert and mindset coach Laura Gassner. Good to see you. And I just told you I'm loving this blazer here, the floral print.
Well, thank you very much.
Bring it.
Thank you.
All right, help us.
Yes.
So why are so many young people moving back home?
Okay, so it's a combination of things. Housing prices are soaring, interest rates are high, and you know it's pretty tough to get first month, last month the security deposit, right? On top of all of our student loan payments. And so when they can't afford rent, then these young people have so many roommates that in this world of hybrid and remote work, they can't even find a quiet place to work. So
but is it a fine line of like taking advantage of your parents, like trying to save money and all of that stuff? Because
Absolutely.
when do you leave?
Well, sure, but like think about it. If you have this option of free room and board, some help with laundry, some cooking, and you get a little private space to work, it's actually an opportunity for you to maybe get a good launch, maybe start a little sooner. Yeah. You get a good foundation.
This, you know, it's probably pretty compelling for people to come home to that stocked fridge, but this can cause some strain on a family. It might sound nice in the beginning to have your children back home with you, back in the nest, but then it can become a bit of a burden.
Sure. I mean, the problem is that we get surprised by it. It doesn't fit our narrative, right? Our narratives: get grades, get grown, get gone, right? But if we don't
get grades, get grown,
get gone. But it surprises us financially. Their failure to launch, you know, to start working, that stops us from being able to retire and stop working. But then also emotionally, think about it. The last time you were in the same house with your parents, we regress to being that person every time we go home. So I'm on Good Morning America on a regular basis giving career advice, and yet every time I go home, my parents give me career advice like I'm 17 years old. But it's not all bad news. So the National Institutes of Health say multi-generational living actually gives us social benefits, psychological benefits, financial benefits that prolong our lives and actually make us happier. So it may just be that our boomerang kids are giving us years in our life, but also life in our years.
I was about to say,
that.
how can parents make this a positive? And I guess you just pointed it out.
Yeah, so look, there's a million miles between being loved and being seen. So our kids have changed, they've grown, they have different things matter to us. So the first thing we should do is we should listen more than we talk, because that gives them an opportunity, a space to really show us who they've become and what matters to them. That's the first thing. The second thing is that allows us to go from being these architects, these authority figures, and become more of advisors, right? So instead of giving them advice all the time and jumping all over them, we can stop and we can say, tell us what you actually care about. Let's hear from you what you think about, because we get one choice as a parent. We either get on their bus or we get run over by their bus. So we can either give them advice or we could be Bigfoot. I like to do this in a family meeting. Once a week, we have a family meeting where we get to have those conversations about the super tense things like shared laundry in the car and who's helping out for dinner. But it also gives us an opportunity to check in with them. How are things going? Are you actually saving money? Are you researching graduate programs? Are you maybe doing those informational interviews that'll get you the job, that helps you afford the rent so you can actually move out?
As a parent, you can get out of here. As a parent of young kids, obviously, I want to keep them as close to home as long as possible, but you also want to set your kids up for success and make sure that they don't rely on that boomeranging back home. How can you do that?
So there's three things we can do. The first is we can have a conversation earlier on about finances, so they can think twice about how much student loan debt they really want to take on. The second thing is that we can have a conversation about whether college is the only answer, because it turns out that there are high-paying, super secure jobs that they can get through trade schools as well that don't come with the same financial burdens. And then lastly, we can maybe plan so that this short-term boomerang is actually part of our plan so that we can actually enjoy it rather than just seeing it as a burden.
Wow. Yeah. All good food for thought. I'm going to hopefully
thought.
Employ that with my own kids. Thank you so much, Laura, for being with us. And you can find her book, Wonder Hell, everywhere books are sold, or you can scan that QR code right there at the bottom of your screen to purchase a copy.